G'day guys, your old pal Nick here from the Bulldog Fanatic YouTube channel, and in today's video we are reviewing the Western Bulldogs 4-goal loss to the North Melbourne Kangaroos on the Thursday night of round 22. It's been a while now, that game, at Marvel Stadium. Disappointing loss. But the Dogs managed to secure a spot in the wildcard despite losing. Let's get into it. So North managed to win 15-10-100 to the Western Bulldogs 11-11-77. 23-point win for the Kangaroos, and very, very good win by North Melbourne. It was just disappointing by the Doggies. We never led the game at all, and North Melbourne just looked a better team from the start right till the end, especially in that first half when they got us to as much as 5 goals at points in that first half. We inevitably came back and got to within like 3 or 4 points early in the last quarter, but North just finished the game better. They finished the game how they started it, which was just really, really good, both offensively and defensively. So, yeah, it was just a really flat night at the footy at Marvel Stadium in member thank you round. So, yeah, it was torturous to watch us again, like it has been probably for a lot of the year to watch this footy club, and Thursday night was no exception. The thing that stood out to me the most throughout that game is just how easy were North able to transition the ball. I swear whenever we kicked a point, North were able to go from one end of the ground to the other from a kick in way too easily with their kicking style game. It was very Brisbane Lions-esque, you know, short 25 meter kick, just chipping through our zone. A lot of teams do that against us, and they just kick their way through the zone, because our defenders, we tried to sag off and push numbers back, almost similar to what we did against Freo. Not as egregious, but yeah, we were trying to flood numbers back. But North just chipped their way through and just found holes, as they kicked their way through, from one end to the other. And they did that for a lot of the night, and it resulted in a lot of goals and resulted in a lot of shots from good positions for North Melbourne. The amount of shots they had from like really good positions directly in front, close to goal, was very alarming. Very, very alarming. And they kicked a lot of them, especially in that first half. I think they were 10 goals to at one point in the first half. That's how accurate they were. So very, very alarming of how easily they were able to transition the ball from one end to the other. But then again, not surprising at all. Another thing that stood out to me on Thursday night is it's pretty simple and basic, but North just wanted it more. They were hungrier for the contest, especially in the midfield. Like George Wardlaw and Luke Davies-Uniacke especially were just so impactful, and they were just so ferocious with their tackling and pressure. Like, whenever in that last quarter, the Bulldogs had a lot of inside 50s early in the last quarter, and we just weren't able to get a good shot off, or because North's pressure was just fantastic, and it spooked us. It seemed like the players were spooked, and credit to North, they kept that pressure up throughout the entire game, even when the Bulldogs were coming back. So, yeah, it just seemed like we were flat and lethargic and second rate, especially in the midfield. It was very, very frustrating. And I know we had a 6-day break, but North had a 5-day break from their game against Hawthorn in Tassie the week before, so it really is no excuse to be flat, and second rate. And it seemed like we were, North were just hungrier and more ferocious. And we didn't seem like that. And I blame the leaders for that. The leaders didn't stand up when it counted. North's leaders like Luke Davies-Uniacke, Harry Sheasel, and George Wardlaw did. That was the difference in the game right there. That game on Thursday night just really has summed up a lot of the year. I'm surprised a loss like that to a lower ranked team, well, a team lower than us on the ladder, hasn't happened sooner. I mean, let's be honest. Since the second half of the Hawthorn game, way back in round 13, we have not played a good game, I swear. We have just not played well. We've played well in patches, but there hasn't been a game since the Hawthorn game where we won, and I still love that game. But since then, we just have not played well in any game. We've played well in patches, but that's about it. We've just looked very shaky for the last couple of months, and we're crawling our way to the end of the home and away season, let me tell you that. And Thursday night couldn't sum that up any better. It just wasn't fun. And once again, and yes, we scored more than 5 goals this time, but it's not that hard to do, really. So, yeah. And once again, we struggled to score. We didn't take our chances in front of goal when we could have. It's just, yeah, we're an absolute shadow of the team that we were last year offensively and defensively. Well, we still suck. And that was on evidence again on Thursday night. With how alarming North were able to score quite efficiently, especially in that first half. So, yeah, there was some things that were a little concerning. Riley Sanders at halftime was interviewed by Mitch Cleary from Channel 7, saying the boys were flat and the group's flat and stuff like that. And I took notice of that, and, well, it looked like it, to be fair. I don't think he was wrong. But then Bevo said in the press conference he disagreed with those comments. So that's not a great sign. And Bond also disagreed with those comments when he got interviewed also by Mitch Cleary from Channel 7 at full time. So, yeah, that's not great. Is there a bit of disconnect between, player and coach and Riley Sanders and, the leaders? I don't know, but that's not great, A player saying one thing and the coach disagreeing with that player after the game in the press conference. Just camaraderie. I think that's how you say camaraderie and connection and chemistry isn't that an all-time high at the Doggies right now. So yeah, that's concerning. Let's see what they can do on Sunday against Carlton. Hopefully they're not flat from the get-go, and hopefully everyone is on the same wavelength and everyone's agreeing with each other and whatnot, but only time will tell. Team English, oh dear, another Team English injury. It's been a troublesome year for that man, and unfortunately he's injured his MCL, which is a knee. So a medial basically on his right knee. So yeah, that's not ideal. He's going to be out for the rest of the home and away season, and he's very touch and go to see if he plays in the wildcard game in a couple of weeks' time. So that is not ideal because we've had Team English this year. We've won once. So, actually, no, we've won twice, should I say. We've won twice this year. We've had Team English. That's not a great record. So we got a bit of a problem there. I don't know who we go with in the ruck this week against Carlton and against Melbourne in round 24. But yeah, having no Team English is just going to make the midfield more disadvantaged than it already is. So after Thursday night, I was feeling pretty down and annoyed, but not too disappointed given, what this year has done to me as a Dogs fan and really the last 4 or 5 years. But at the end of Sunday, I was feeling not too bad, which I usually wouldn't do after a round of footy where the Dogs lose. So for context, on Sunday, we needed GWS lose to Gold Coast and St Kilda lose to Carlton in order to guarantee a wildcard spot for us. And both those things happened. We're in the wildcard by default, even though we lost on Thursday night to North Melbourne. Gold Coast, mainly thanks to Matty Rowell, and Carlton winning over GWS and St Kilda respectfully. Gold Coast beating GWS and Carlton beating St Kilda have secured us a wildcard spot with 2 rounds to go. How good it was. It's such a weird feeling, because, oh boy, it's just we're not playing well at the moment, and we probably don't deserve to be in the wild card right now. But I guess banking those wins early in the year and getting those close wins throughout the year, even though we haven't played well in a lot of them, has rewarded us with a wild card berth. So it just makes the next 2 games a little interesting. It means the care factor is not that high for the next 2 games because there's not much riding on it. So it's a weird feeling, but we're in the wild card with 2 weeks to go. It's interesting, but that's 2026 footy for you, I guess. 2 players I'll give a shout out to because I thought they were the only 2 players I would give a genuine pass to, and that is James O'Donnell and Lachlan Bramble in our defence. James O'Donnell actually did a really good job on Nick Larkey. He held Nick Larkey to 0 goals. It was really good, and to be fair, he got isolated one-on-one with Nick Larkey quite a few times on Thursday night in our defensive 50. He did a really good job. He never got beaten. He really never got beaten and did his job and even the contest at bare minimum. Sometimes won them by mainly spoiling it or occasionally taking an intercept mark. I thought he was really good. Did a really good job on Nick Larkey. It's a shame that didn't lead to the win because all the other North forwards basically had a day out, especially Paul Curtis. So a shame there that we held Larkey to 0 goals, but meant nothing at the end result. And Lachlan Bramble, again, he's filling in the void of no Bailey Dale or Connor Butterick.
pretty well. I thought his run and carry once again was really good at halfback, and he's like the only guy out of defence I trust with ball in hand at the moment in the side. And he gained quite a few metres, and he used the ball quite well by foot, composed, didn't do anything over ambitious. So I thought his game was really, really solid. But apart from those two, there weren't many winners on the ground for the Bulldogs. So, yeah, not ideal at all.
Fun fact, that was our first loss to North Melbourne since 2019, round 10, 2019. So, it's been a long time between drinks since we last lost to North Melbourne. For context, I was 15. I was in year 10. I was in year 10 in high school when we last lost to North Melbourne. So, shows how much we've owned them for a long, long time. But they finally beat us, and fair play to them. It was going to come at some point that they were going to beat us, and it just happened to be on a Thursday night in front of everyone in the national audience, so that's not great, but yeah. Oh well, it sucks, but we got to move on, and we got 2 big games coming up to prepare us for our wildcard game in Carlton on Sunday at Marvel Stadium in round 23, and the D's round 24 at the MCG, so they're going to be tougher fixtures because both those teams are in much better form than we are. So, oh boy, I'll probably want to peel, I want to put chopsticks on my eyes the next 2 weeks probably, just like I wanted to on Thursday night. So, we'll see how that goes, eh? Final thoughts, guys. Disappointing loss, but not surprised really. I'm surprised a loss like that hasn't happened earlier in the season to a side much lower than us on the ladder. But anyways, guys, we move on. We're in the wild card, and we got a 10-day break between games, which is nice because the free 6-day breaks have not done the club or a lot of the boys any favours. So, yeah, hopefully we freshen up and cherry ripe, and hopefully we give a red hot crack to the Josh Fraser-led Carlton Footy Club right now, who are in very, very good form. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy the vid and subscribe for more Bulldogs content as the home and away season starts to close. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy the vid, and as always, go you mighty Bulldogs. See you next time.